Page 46, Grandmother's Memories. On the previous page, they talk a little bit about the right hand going over, the left hand going over. Who knows? Somebody's going over something. Okay. In my opinion, big deal. We've already been doing that with the arpeggios. The hands can cross over at any time. You just do whatever the music tells you to do. Don't worry about it. In this piece, we get this. The left hand is playing the chords in the upper staff. So that's fine. Because remember, you don't have to have the right hand play the upper staff and the left hand playing the lower staff. No, that's all bad. No, you just, whatever the needs, the music. And here, the right hand's going to concentrate on the melody, and the left hand's going to do all of the harmony and the accompaniment. That happens to be part of or include the chords in the upper staff. So let's look this over. It's 2 pages long. Treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature, we're in the key of G major. Go do the scale on G major. On the arpeggios, should be doing these 2 octaves up and down now. 4/4 time signature, we have a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 4. That means there should be another measure somewhere with 3 counts in it. If you look at the bottom of page 47, that has 3 counts in it, so that's okay. We'll take the right hand first, and the right hand is playing the melody notes. The melody's in the lower staff, and it's the one with the stems going up. So we're here, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 40 and 40 and 40 and, or feel it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then 3. That's a repeated note. That's all right. Now, I would prefer not to end on a thumb like that. Second line, first measure, because I need thumb again. Now, it's the end of a phrase I can lift up. But again, I prefer to finger things connected. So I don't want to end up a thumb. I want some other finger. So I adjust the fingering here. Here on the end of the first line here. For the last bit, I'm going to go 3. They're repeated notes. I can here. That way I'm ending up on second finger. I can reach down to go on. On the third line down, second measure, here, thumb is okay because I'm here. Reach up. And here, that's a stretch, but I have a 1 beat rest to come down. You can, if you would like, you reach down and play it with third finger. This is the last line on page 46. Instead of second, reach down and play here. And then you're a little closer. You still get a 1 beat rest to come down. But I don't want to look at the keyboard if I don't have to. So if I don't have to move as far, I don't have to look at the keyboard. That's all. I might still have to look at the keyboard. 3. Now this I don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing, what they're thinking. This is the last line on page 46, second measure. You're here, then they want third finger. Now that 4 in the last measure, that's incorrect. There's just, no, that's silly. Don't use 4 there. You're right there. You're going to stay in this position. So just use 2. Your 2's on that note, use 2. So it's here. Here, and then go on. So that 4 is incorrect. Page 47. And 4. And then you do it back what you were doing at the beginning. And use the same fingering as you did at the beginning. Which means in the third line, third finger on the, like we did at the beginning. Left hand, well, that's the one going crazy. So let's see what it's doing. You're here, and this is 1, and then you have the rest, and you think this is easy. 1, rest, 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 rest. No, you got to play the chords in the upper staff. So rather than here, I'm going to use, that way I'm closer to where I want to be. Keep in mind the right hand's in the way, so you got to go up over it. So it's here, and then here. And you're constantly doing this through the whole piece. Well, you got to look down for that. So you develop this feel of when to look down and when to look. You got to look to see what the notes are. You got to look down to see where the left hand's going. And you only have to glance down. You're not looking down for long. So here, I'm looking down long enough to see where this is. Because even before I play it, I can go look at the music again. I don't have to actually watch me play the notes. I just need to know where the notes are. And once I've seen where the notes are, I can look up because I'll remember where they are. I have the image in my mind still. It works out very well. Just look up and experiment with that. You have here, then glance down on this position. Find this position. Just glance down at it and look back up. Just glance down and look up and then play it. So it's here. I mean, even if your hand's still down here, you just glance down at it and look up. And you'll find most of the time you can actually play the right notes because you still have the image in your head. So it works quite well. So it's here, look out, in here. Actually, eventually you feel the keyboard, you know where the notes are. You don't even have to look down for any of it. But that may take a while. As I said, you can always come back through these pieces and play them again and again in the future. And you'll find as you get better with piano, you'll play them better. And when you go to put the hands together, it's a mess. You get the idea? You go through and put the hands together. I already did. Then we think about the articulation. And here, it's the phrasing in the right hand. Lift up, lift up, lift up, like taking a breath. The left hand, you connect it as best you can, although you can't connect any of it, but you do the best you can. You have a fermata, page 47, second line here, the note. And you'll notice there's a fermata in both here. Again, another error, in my opinion, because in the bottom staff, they give you two fermatas. The right hand controls how long you're going to hold that down. Here. That's the one. And you hold this down as long as you need to. Let's go on. People are falling asleep. Okay, and then you go on. Lift up the phrase. And then at the end, again, that fermata controls how long both hands hold. That'll hold. And then you lift both hands at the same time. And by the way, the fingering here at the end, I finger this in a way that I can get all of that in one hand position in that last measure, so I'm fingering it that way. You don't have to, you can move your hand if you want to, I just don't like moving my hand. Then the dynamics. P is piano for soft, that's melody. These chords, very soft, good luck with that, but very soft, we want to hear the melody. You get down to the third line, pick up to the last measure, you go up to moderately loud. Mezzo forte. But just a little loud. Soft and then up to moderately loud. Don't get loud. This piece doesn't get loud. Just sort of loud. And then on page 47, second line, pick up your so you're soft again. Like you were at the beginning. Now at the third line down, you get a dim. You see in the last measure? Diminuendo. Well, yeah, I could use more information. Diminuendo means get softer, gradually get softer. It doesn't say how much softer to get. I'm already soft. So I guess I'm going to go down to very soft, depending on how soft I can get. I'm not going to use the soft pedal. I could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do it with the hands. But I don't know when I want to be soft. It doesn't say when to get soft. So I'm going to take this according to the melody. So the last measure of the third line, I'm going to stay soft. And now I'm going to do it's like the diminuendo sort of belonged in the first measure of the last line. But they want you to dial away on that. And then a little softer and softer. So each one of these groups of notes in the melody, I'm going to take that group of notes softer. So I'm doing it in groups of notes. So here. Softer. Now softer. Now softer. That's how I'm going to do it. And the right hand or the left hand just has to do the best it can to stay under that because we want to hear the melody. It's going to be a challenge. It takes a lot of control to play softly. But this is something you can practice when you're doing the scales and arpeggios. How softly can you play them? And without the saw pedal, of course. You're doing it with the hands. How soft can you play these different scales and all that? That helps to give you the very light, very little weight. Now at the beginning, between the stabs, they put in dolce. Again, means sweetly. That's the melody. And again, think of the natural accents. To here. To here. Otherwise, the listener will think the first beat you play, that's beat 1. 1, 2. And it's not. It's got to sound like to here. So feel the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, like so. Speed on Dante is just gentle. Just a nice gentle speed. Maybe you could speed it up a little bit as you get better with moving the left hand around because you got to get through the whole thing with no hesitations. A steady beat throughout. And then we think about the pedal. Well, we could use pedal because it's pretty choppy the way it is now. And overlapping pedal. And I'm still going to overlap it throughout the measure. It's like at the beginning, don't pedal this and then pedal after I play the notes. Change. And they're lifting up on the dotted 16th note, that clears it out. I like that effect. I do that quite a bit. So if you want to do that, try it. Again, it's here. Change. Lift it up, the pedal. Here, and then up here. Lift up. I don't want this. I don't want both of those. So I have to figure this out because if I don't pedal this, I lose that note. I want that note. So what do? Well, not a lot we can do. Again, pedaling it's partially a give and take. You want something, but sometimes you have to give up something else. So I could change pedal, but I still lose that note. So you're going to have to decide which is more important. Do you want to keep the note? Or do you want this clean? You decide what you like. I'll go ahead and pedal it the way they're showing because I think I would rather keep that note. Same thing here. And that's pedaling throughout pretty much. Now at the bottom of page 46 in the second measure, no, don't pedal the last beat. Just leave it off. Don't pedal the last beat. Same thing here. Top of page 47, don't pedal the last beat. See, they tell you not to pedal the last beat at the end of the line. That's what I'm telling you to do on these other measures like that. Don't pedal the last beat. Now, when you have a chord on the last beat in the right hand or the left hand, you have to pedal it. It's like at the beginning here. You had. See, I have a chord on that beat, so I got to pedal it. If I didn't have that chord there, I wouldn't need to pedal it. So I could have lifted the pedal up, but when I have that chord, I need to pedal it. So on these measures where I don't have a chord on the fourth beat, I'm going to lift the pedal up to clear it out. Now at the end, the last line or the last couple measures, you're very soft here. Again, you can use that pedaling I showed you before because we're very soft with the fermata. Lift the keys up, keep the hands on the keys, just lift the keys up and then gradually lift the pedal up. And that lets the dampers gradually touch the strings and the sound gradually dies away. If you have an electronic piano that won't do that, some will, some won't. then reach up with the volume and gradually turn the volume down. That's because you want this to fade out at the end. You don't want it to be here, real pretty, and then all of a sudden, nothing. That's like an accent. It's like, no, you want it to fade out.